something that has been ongoing for quite some time. It's been in need of repair. It hasn't been used, but we have an opportunity now to not only repair but improve the track and field at the high school. So what we're looking at is there was a study done in 2016, it was presented in 2017-18, that evaluated the CMS track and the Alleghany track. The CMS track has its own considerations as far as size, and the Alleghany track has its own issues as far as condition. The recommendation is to improve not only the track, make it an 8-lane track, but also improve the condition of the field and rework the field for the football and soccer, and also the visitor side bleachers, as well as the concession stand and the ticket booth. So this is not a small project by any means, but it is one that has a great deal of benefits to both not only our athletic programs, but also our physical education programs. So this would be something that could be used every day, and also enable us to host a variety of events. We could host now state level track events and without a problem. And the recommendation is definitely an 8-lane track. We listed a 6-lane option as a bid option. To me, that would be a last resort, I think, and the recommendations have always been for an 8-lane track, and I think that's what we need to go for. And we had considered at one time actually taking some rows of the home side bleachers out to expand the current track out, but currently I believe the best solution is to just shift it so that we keep the home side where they are and shift toward the north and east and reposition the track and the field slightly in order to accommodate the 2 additional lanes. This allows us to keep the sprinkler system in place. It allows us to keep everything in place except we have to move 2 lights, and that would be not replacing per se, but just moving the foundations of the 2 lights that are on that side.
We are going to get a bid for a 6-lane and an 8-lane.
Yes, we have the 6-lane as a bid option.
A bid option?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Katalk and I have a different view on this, and I am only getting this from people in the know that are coaching and things that say that they like a 6-lane.
But they also said to me, those same people in the know said they were worried about the project going through, so they were willing to, if it would be less, that would be also. So the question is, is it an 8-lane or 6-lane? And I would maintain that, Alleghany High School is going to be a high school for a while, I think. And as we upgrade the facilities in there, we need to have facilities that, as people move in here, they want to say, I want my child to go to Alleghany High School. And so having besides seeing the front of the building and in the building, the next day everyone looks at what facilities are out back. And so having a first-rate track, whether it's 8 or 6, okay, I think is absolutely critical for us, and the facilities that go with it. That's also going to upgrade the football facilities. It's going to upgrade the soccer facilities as well. And so I just think this is very, very important. We also have the money in our budget to do this. A long talk with other people in the community as well. They're willing to also assist us with this. So I would encourage the board to move forward with this. And whether it turns out to be an 8 or 6, could be depending on spacing, depending on financing as well. But I know having that 8-lane track, we can now host our state meets as well. And you say that may not happen, but it could, depending on who, state meet lots of times is done by someone who's really interested in doing it. We have people that are interested in doing it, so I like to keep all options open until we see the final cost after it comes in, so that makes sense.
I would like to be able to weigh the 6 and the 8 because I know there's a lot more expenses.
That's what I mean, both of them come in and then, take a look at both of them. So.
Because with the 6, we don't have to mess with the bleachers or any of that stuff, which could be.
Say, that's what I mean, so we take a look at both. I agree looking at both. You've worked on
there would be some other considerations as well under the 6-lane track. I mean, there are things that we have to do for both that, repairing some drainage, repairing some geological formations that if we're doing it for 6, it's just as easy to do it for 8. And for the and to expand 6 feet, around the circle, it's not hopefully not a tremendous price difference. And we're able to go with the 8 lane. I would like to go with the 8 lane. I spoke with the folks at VHSL, sort of asking them for some guidance, and they suggested to me if I had the option to go for 8. You may as well go all the way if you're going to go.
You can spend that much money.
You're going to spend that much money, you may as well get everything you can get for it. And
especially if you're going to hold a state meet here.
yeah.
I mean, that'd be great for economic development for this area. I mean,
And having 8 lanes means you can host a regional meet that much more efficiently and that much better. I mean, it not only includes just the 8 lanes of the track, it's also, the triple, the long jump, the high jump, the discus, the shot put. It's all those facilities together that work together that make an effective meet happen. I heard some talk today about the Salem State Meet and how it's an event. I mean, it really is. It has to be well organized. It has to be well put together, and you have to have the facilities to handle it. This would allow us to have the facilities to handle some of these meets that we have never had before.
When's the goal for project start?
I would like to get this bid out just as absolutely like yesterday.
The other part also, talking about renovating, something you've talked about is the concession stands in the bathrooms.
Absolutely. The facilities really.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to be. Our baseball field's in pretty good shape. Softball's a lot better now. Work on the dugouts a little bit. And so when you start taking a look at that, we have good indoor facilities. It just, again, as we have people moving in that look at that high school, and it's the first impression will make a big difference.
so is this an action item or information?
No,
It's an information.
On March 9th.
But you want it done ASAP,
I'd like
so.
to.
You can change it to an action item tonight if you like.
We take the vote of the board to make an addition to the agenda if you want to do that. If you make that proposal, it'd have to be unanimous. Yeah, that's what I said. It'd have to be unanimous vote of the board. We can make it an action item to start that process.
I would vote for it to be an action item if we were including a bid for a 6 and an 8.
It will.
Not a 6 bid option.
No, we're going to get both. I promise you.
We'll
that.
get both.
Listen, I didn't throw you under the bus like you did to me that one night.
Yeah, Jacob.
I'll throw somebody under the bus right now.
What if you get thrown under the bus?
Hey, that's fine. I've been thrown under.
Okay, here's what we
Yes,
do.
you-
I've been real
Not under
over,
my
backed up,
bus.
spun out.
Here's what we're going to do. To make an addition to the agenda, we have to have somebody
Roll
make a
call.
motion that we make an addition to the agenda to change item 20-203, the Alleghany Track and Field renovation, from an information item to an action item, and it has to be a unanimous vote.
I will make a motion that we change item number 20-203 to an action item to receive bids for a 6-lane and 8-lane track for Alleghany.
You always got it, go ahead.
That's next. We have to change this to an action.
Oh, we have to change it to add it to the agenda.
Add it to the agenda. We have a motion by Jacob to add this to the agenda. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And it has to be a unanimous vote. Roll call, please.
Can we have some discussion?
Oh, yes, I thought that's
Okay. So do we have, on this estimate, do we have how much we're going to spend for the football field? Because the redhead stepchild here is if the school systems are consolidated, people are going to start hollering if we're spending a whole bunch of money for the football field, if we're going to do the football field at, Casey Field. So,
I agree.
I mean, this is $1 million between the weight room and this is easily $1 million. And I honestly, I think the schools are needing it. They needed it probably 20 years ago. But we're in these discussions to try to merge our schools. I think we just need to put the pause button on and let's see where that's going before we throw $1 million into investing in the bricks and mortar of our school system. We don't even know if we have a joint school, if it's going to be there or not.
Well,
I think that's the most
I will say this in defense of this project, and I like to see myself as fairly conservative on these expenditures, but this would be the only actual to-scale track in the area. It's the only one that's actually the correct measurement.
The correct size.
The correct size. Burton Field is a little bit short. The middle school is like 2 miles too long.
But, well, I mean, I
High
guess,
school's gonna be high school.
you know.
And one thing about it, one thing that you could think about, and this is one thing that I've thought about, if football was played at the Casey Field, well, there needs to be a good place for soccer to be played, because you can't play spring soccer at Casey Field because of the baseball field.
And ideally, you would have a football field, a football practice field, a soccer field, and a soccer practice field. One of our issues with our single field is it never has a chance to rest. Grass never has a chance to fully grow back. I mean, when you have a football field, in many places, nothing is played on there except game night. And when you have the practice field, I mean, that's where the practice is. And the same thing with the soccer. The only 2 months that these fields really rest are January and February. And sometimes, but during the summer, they get stressed with the summer heat and so forth, so they're never really resting then. So where other fields and other facilities have 6 to 8 months for their fields to look good and go and be nice, we only have 2 months because we're using it for double duty. If we do, let's say we did consolidate and we did have a football field there, I agree 100% we need a nice facility for a soccer field. Either way, there is work that needs to be done at that field. There's a hump in the middle that's grown over the years, and fields will get higher. And it's something that, again, I think is long overdue. We did some conditioning work last year, and it's very effective, and we're going to continue to do that on all our fields. But right now, I think we need to really address these
We
facilities.
can't deny our kids the facilities they deserve on a
We have-
what if proposal.
We have talked about
We
it for
could
so
what if
long.
it all night. We can't punish our kids by waiting on long overdue, desperate needed renovations. They
And-
deserve better than that.
Well, one of the important things we need to think about, this is only requesting a bid,
That's right.
and that's not going to cost us anything. So we can at least find out what we're working with.
So is that what this action item will be?
The action is to
Just to get the bid.
The request for proposal.
It costs a little bit. We'll have to pay some of the fees associated with getting the bid.
Advertising.
I want to just say this.
The architecture fees.
I think, Mr. Kern, to help you maybe see a little history on this, all right? When I came here almost 5 years ago, there was suddenly a big discussion about consolidation. I am pro-consolidation. There's no question in my mind after I looked at it educationally. But if we had waited for consolidation, we would not have the change in philosophy related to project-based learning. We would not have an advanced alternative education program that's been awesome. We would not have had a technology department that is second to none in the Commonwealth. And I was urged at that time not to do that because of what it would do with consolidation. All right, and so what we've tried to do as we plan ahead are some things that would still work out if consolidation goes through. And whether I like it or not, is that Alleghany High School probably will be the high school, and I know that the people are not going to believe, not because of where Alleghany is, but because of where JRTC is. And since JRTC is here, the data shows 85% of our kids come here, only 15% of Covington because of travel. So it would make sense where the high school is located. And again, maybe our people and our sisters that live in the city and our brothers may not believe that, but I firmly do believe that. And as the CEO, it's my job to state that. It may not be the most popular thing to say, but I also agree with Ms. Morgan. We cannot shortchange our kids to think that consolidation may happen 3 years down the road when the discussion's been going on for 45 years. And so I urge us to take a look at this and move forward with it. I think it's absolutely critical for us.
Any other comments?
I have one comment regarding that.
Yes, sir.
At this current time in our population of both of our high schools, we can't afford to close one. They're all going to have to be schools. We have too many students for just one school, so just want that. Yeah, just want that something to be said.
Well, I'm for it. I mean,
I'm for it. We're actually in the middle of a vote.
Yeah, we got a motion,
And
and now we need, if we're gonna do it, we have to have a
Well,
second.
we want
And
to do the
this
discussion
is
part.
just for the bid part, so let's see what a six lane track and an 8 lane track
This
is.
is just to add to the
Add to the
agenda.
agenda first.
That's
So,
nice.
do we have a second to add it to the
second.
agenda? Yes, we don't second.
I second
We have a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Franzen?
This is for the bid only, correct?
Just to add it to the
This
agenda.
add it to the agenda
Just
first.
to the agenda.
This is to change it to
Okay.
action item.
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Miss Morgan?
Yes.
Miss Segner?
Yes.
Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion, and it's passed, to add 20-203 to the agenda.
Okay.
Now, the next thing would be to have a motion
I will make a motion.
that we,
We allow Mr. Truitt to seek proposals for a 6 and 8 lane track for Alleghany High School.
Well, it would include.
make it really pretty.
It's on the list, right?
yeah, everything that's on the
It's
list.
on the list.
Everything that's on the list, but the thing about this proposal says, or it offers a 6 lane option, which if I'm a contractor, I'm going to give you an 8 lane because I'm going to make more money off an 8 lane because they're going to do cost.
Right. But there's a lot of things on this list that doesn't
Yeah.
include just 6 and 8 lanes.
Right,
It's
right,
as
right, right.
presented is what you want to say.
Right.
We'll get a quote for both.
So
Right, but
Well,
I would like to see a quote for both a 6 and 8 lane track.
That's what it says.
We'll take the
It
parentheses
says a
out.
6 lane bid option.
We will take the
It'll
6,
be an option.
we'll take the parentheses out, take the option off.
Yeah.
It'll say expand track to 8 lane or 6 lane. All right, fair enough?
6 or 8 lane, yes.
Yeah, all
I think
right.
that, and does that mean, will they give us proposals for both?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you say and?
And, okay,
Not
yes.
or.
Or,
And.
thank you very much for my grammatical mistake.
That's why I keep her close to me.
And that includes everything on the list here that they're looking at.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Is that your
That is my motion.
motion? Now, do we have a second?
I couldn't have said it better
We have a
myself.
motion and a second from Danielle. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Miss Morgan?
Yes.
Miss Segner?
Yes.
Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Okay. Ben, you have work to do.
Always.
Okay, thank
Now,
you.
that means that the architect will begin work on the design.
I'm going to tell them right now.
Start.